I have been trying and trying so hard in this channel to convince developers to understand a thing or two about design. And at the same time, I've been trying and trying so hard to help designers to understand a thing or two about development. These guys, they don't really want to understand each other. Between them, there is a big gap. I think big gap is an understatement. There is a big dark hole. No one wants to jump in. Now we are having a problem because in the application development and web development, we've got some designs that are failing. Total disaster, simply because the other guy didn't really want to understand the other guy, or at least learn a thing or two about design. It's like 6 and 9. The other guy say this is 6 and the other one say this is 9. I am Matthew Msingati, the hybrid, the best of both worlds, the designer and the developer, and I'm here to tell you that this is not 6 and 9. It just depends how you look at it. Let's take a look at this disaster, at this problem in this website. You will let me know if this is a problem or it's not a problem, but to me this is a total failure. If you found this as a total failure, I've got a solution for you, and believe me, it's simpler than you think. I'm Matthew Msingati, the hybrid, the best of both worlds. Let's look at this website. It's fresh, vibrant, on point, but there are some challenges that I have found about this website. Let's just quickly look at this. As you can see, beautiful card indeed. Let's click on it. Okay, now let's hover over this. As you can see, a very cool and nice background. It's interactive. It's telling you that you can click me. Let's look at this one. Same thing. Let's look at this one. Same thing. Now let's look at this one. Nothing and nothing. Maybe what is the problem? The problem goes back to 6 and 9. It's the developer who knows nothing and they don't want to know anything about design. If this developer at least would have understood at least the basics of design, maybe he would have chosen different icons that will help him to achieve what he wants to achieve. What is the problem with this? Well, maybe I allow a room for you not to see a problem in this. If you are saying, Matthew, this is not a big deal, well, I understand that, but to me this is a big deal. This is a problem. Okay, let's look at here. This says click at me. Okay, I'm clickable. That's what it's saying. It's responding to an event. It's interactive, and it's more like responding, okay, to you as you interact with it. Okay, when you click on it, as you can see, something can happen. So this is a clickable button or icon. Okay, let's look at this one. When you click here, this is telling you that when you click me, I am going to do something, and indeed that happens. The same goes for this one, but let's hover over this one. This one is silent. This is the problem. Well, UX, it's a discipline which is far from developers. Developers, they are obsessed with, is it working? Okay, but this is killing the industry. Okay, yes, when you click on it, it might work, but what if I will never click on it because I didn't think it might work? Not necessarily I didn't think, but this component didn't communicate its own essence. It didn't tell me that I have to click on it. This is a bad user experience. What can we learn from this? Or at least what can I tell you about this? Okay, this means that, number one, as you are learning from this channel, Coded Design, the tools and techniques that you are learning from this channel are so powerful such that they can help you to land a job. Imagine if you can go to these guys and tell them that, look, this is a problem and this is how I've solved it. Well, maybe they might not give you a chance because they are a big company, you never know. But imagine if you can approach a new tech startup companies, or at least a company that is in a level that it can hire a newbie, more especially if this newbie make sense. It means that you might get a chance of being employed. This is how I've been approaching employers in my own journey to becoming a better designer and a better developer. So this can help you. And also, guys, this means that you are needed. Yes, you, even though you don't know HTML, you don't know React, you don't know design, you are needed. If you can keep on learning, keep on searching from YouTube and other channels, you might become a better developer. The best thing you can do for me, you can just thank me with liking or even subscribing. I will be happier with that, and I will be the happiest man. Now let's continue with the matter at hand. How can we solve this problem? Okay, let's get into the solution. As you can see, this problem has got 3 sections. The first section being the design problem. Okay, let's just quickly do a Google search. Let's just quickly do a Google search on icon types. Okay, let's just go to a Google search on icon type. Let's just click on images. Okay, what I want to show you is there are solid icons. There are solid icons, these ones, and there are outlined icons, these ones. If you are interested in working or manipulating the feel of an icon or of an SVG, you might as well go with the solid icons. Okay, so there is a difference between an outline and a solid, and this developer chose some outline icons which didn't really help him to achieve what he want to achieve. How could he have solved this problem? If he could have understood a thing or two about this design, I think he could have saved himself from this disaster. So as you can see, this is a fill color, this is a fill color, and this is a fill color. What if he could have chosen solid colors? This was going to have a fill, this was going to have a fill, and this was going to have a fill. So it's as simple as choosing a solid version of the SVG. As you can see, guys, maybe one might ask then, how do you know that this developer has used the SVGs in order to style these components? Well, let's just get into it. This now talks to engineering. If you've been hearing about front-end engineer, more especially in jobs employment, when front-end is being advertised, employers use front-end engineer. Okay, well, most people, they don't really understand the engineering aspect of it. Here I am going to dive deep into the engineering aspect. So I had to just go here and try to understand what was this developer thinking. Why maybe he didn't change the background of the circle to be yellow and make the stroke to be white. That could have been a better solution than this. This is absolutely a disaster. This is a big no, at least for me. Now I had to do some engineering investigation, let me put it that way. So I had to check how did this guy styled these components. Okay, now let's continue. This is what I did. I had to click here and click inspect. Okay, now this is engineering. Okay, we are just checking the logic and the thinking of this developer. Okay, what was this guy thinking? Okay, one of the things that I have discovered, okay, is that there is Gatsby here, and then Gatsby, it's I've went to the introductory video of Gatsby JS. Maybe it's my own understanding and my own knowledge of Gatsby. I didn't really get the essence of what Gatsby does. It's claiming to be a framework, React or maybe JavaScript framework, but in that video I didn't get the essence of a framework. Obviously that is a topic for another day, but one of the things that I've seen here is that there is Gatsby in the mix. Now let's go back to the matter at hand. So I had to investigate. I had to check why this is not showing me, maybe in terms of CSS, okay? Maybe what is going on here, okay? So I went as far as clicking here and trying to check the components one by one. As you can see, there is this component and there is this one. So I had to check this is an SVG, but when I'm hovering over it, I don't really see like what's going on. I was hoping this CSS somewhere here I would see maybe a background color changing from nothing or none at least to this color, but that didn't happen. I have to think, how did this guy achieve this? Okay, what was going on here? Up until I was like, okay, let me take a dive deep on this SVG, okay? And then what I'm going to do here, let me add some event, okay? Let me add some event on this SVG, meaning that let me add the hover event and see what will happen, okay? And I realized that this guy has used the actual SVG. Looks like a problem to me. I'm not sure about you, okay? I would have chosen a different way to go about it. Remember, SVGs are a little bit a mission and a half to work with them, okay? I would like to assume, or I would advise a new beginner, don't manipulate SVG. Find a way to manipulate what you can manipulate, because it means that if you want to manipulate SVG, now you need to know a thing or two about SVG, not only in a general level for you to understand design, but you need to get into details and understand. Let me just show you. This is what you have to understand. You have to understand this feel, you have to understand these strokes and a lot of things. As you can see, guys, this thing is a little bit complicated. So why does this guy have just decided to get into styling SVG? Well, engineering, okay? How you think about it and the decisions that you make, they can either make you or break you. Now let's continue. So when I was here, I was like, okay, I am in this component and let me just add the hover effect or state, okay? When I'm doing that, I've noticed, oh, here is the fill color, okay? So meaning that this has been done on, as you can see, this is the active one, or this has been done on an SVG. So meaning that this SVG, let's go back here, this SVG, as you can see, the same SVG doesn't really have a feel. Why? Because it's an outline. As you can see, according to this, I'm assuming that this has not been designed, okay? This is my best assumption, okay? This website has been some sort of bootstrapped by a developer, not a designer, okay? Meaning that there was no mock-up necessarily. That is my best assumption, okay? But this is the developer's fault, okay? So as you can see, guys, this guy has chosen, or maybe if he received this from a designer, the designer has chosen to use the outlines, okay? Then the developer, based on the expectation of a designer, could have indicated that this is a problem. Well, nevertheless, let's just jump straight into the actual problem, okay? So as you can see, this is the outline. Then these guys should have seen that this doesn't have a feel, okay? When they were styling the actual SVGs, this doesn't have a feel, and then they could have made some changes from then. So this is how I knew that this guy has styled the actual SVGs for me, which is a big no for me, okay? So how could have this how do we solve this, okay? What's the best way or the simple and the easiest way of solving it? The easiest way of solving this, guys, is to don't manipulate the SVGs, just work on this circle, something that is within your control, okay? If you would have changed this circle to be a certain color, then if maybe the color of the background, the yellow in the circle and this actual dark color, they don't complement each other, that is not much of a problem. You can make use of a scaling effect. Okay, you scale this down a little bit and add a little bit of animation so that when I'm hovering over it, this can scale down. This was going to achieve the same thing. Okay, now let's go back to Figma. Okay, so as you can see, guys, this is a design problem. This developer, okay, or this designer could have known that they have to choose a certain type of icons that are going to solve the problem. So this means that the outline icons, they are a big no for this problem. Okay, the short story of a poor design. If you are asking yourself what is that and what about it, okay, I have got a detailed video in another channel of mine, which is Coded UI. This is the video. This video gets into details about the problem that we are currently on, but I am coming from a designing and a branding perspective. Okay, if you might want to learn a thing or two about design, specifically about Figma, and understanding what are the decisions that the designers make that might make them or break them, or at most break the company's brand experience and or make the company's brand experience, please guys, feel free to just check this channel of mine. Okay, the name of the channel, it's Coding UI. As you can see, I have got a series of videos there. So if you want to learn Figma as a developer and level up your skill, I would recommend this channel, because here, this is where I take a design from concept and I will get back to this channel and create a React equivalent. Now guys, let's continue. So this is problem number 1, icon types. Okay, now let's get to problem number 1 still. Obviously, I know you are asking yourself, or you are like, Matthew, don't you know that if there is number 1, then there must be number 2? That is a topic for not necessarily another day, but maybe we can discuss it later. Problem number 1 still, the tech stack. Okay, this speaks to engineering. Okay, when you are creating your components, okay, as a front-end engineer, obviously we're not talking about front-end design here or development, we're talking about the engineering, your skill and your craft on taking different things, combining them together and come up with an effective and an efficient solution. To me, that's the engineering aspect of front end. Okay, so let's talk about the tech stack. Okay, so we've got CSS, we've got Tailwind, we've got JavaScript. Okay, so when you are creating your own component, okay, you need to know, now we are coming into the solution. Okay, this is a hover state. Okay, this is a hover state. So this means that I can detect this event with CSS. Okay, yes, but now this CSS won't inform JavaScript, or at least not directly. Okay, so meaning that there are two options to go about this: the JavaScript way, meaning that I will have to use JavaScript event listeners to listen for a hover effect, or I can use CSS, okay, to listen for the hover effect, or I can use Tailwind to achieve the same problem. So what I'm trying to bring into the table here is, as a front-end engineer, you look at your stack, okay, meaning that the possibilities of technology solutions, okay, and then from then you need to choose and make a combination that will solve the problem, meaning that your components needs to be clean, your components need to be solid, you are not supposed to repeat yourself, you are supposed to come up with highly reusable component. So you look at the matter at hand, what am I trying to solve, and then you can choose how are you going to approach the problem. Would using Tailwind CSS makes your component cleaner? are more efficient and highly scalable, or you will go for JavaScript, which is maybe you will see in terms of your components on React, how are you going to make use of states in solving their problem. So here I'm just trying to say you need to take your look at your tech stack. You need to come up with components that will solve the problem. That will then inform, number one, still for the third time, yes, for the third time, your component composition. After you've got your stack, after you know the approach that, okay, if I can get 1, 2, 3, I think I can compose my component this way. Okay, that also plays a major role in your overall product, because in the end, this is not just a design or a visual problem. Okay, a problem that maybe it's all about the design, this responds at this doesn't respond, the color is here and the color is not here. No, it's not all about that, but it manifests itself in form of design experience or UI or whatever. But this problem is deeper than that. It's engraved in what? In the component composition, in the engineering aspect of front end. I am Matthew Msingati, the designer and developer from South Africa, the hybrid and the best of both worlds. I hope this video has been useful and this video has been helpful to you. If you might be interested, please check this video on Coded UI, the short story of a poor design. Here I dive deep into the problem that we were trying to solve here. I'm Matthew Msingati, the designer and developer. See you on the next one. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Let's code badly with pride.